Great day for us. Coaches generally have miserable days, even when you win during the season. But we played very well against a very, very good team. And that's rare, it's hard to play as well as we did today against a team that's that good. So it's kind of what you strive for. And you strive for consistency. And we've been pretty consistent on the defensive end, which has given us a chance in almost every game we've played. Everyone was very disappointed about the loss at Richmond and the manner in which we lost, including myself. There are things I felt like, I could have done a little bit better. But ultimately, if your defense travels like it did at Richmond and then is pretty good or very, very good as it was today at home, you give yourself a chance to play well and win a game. And then obviously we made every shot from three, so that has a heavy hand in it. I don't expect that we'll make 15 threes every night. I don't want to give up too much strategy because we might play them again in the tournament, but I have so much respect for Anthony Grant as a coach and their players and the things they do offensively, as good as they are defensively. I've coached against him quite a bit. I just think they're terrific, and I thought, we got to try to keep them on their heels because they keep you on your heels if you just kind of do what we do. They're good at picking on what you do. So my idea was, we're not going to just do what we do. We're going to do different things at times and just try to get them off balance because I just think he's too good of a coach to just sit back and play the way you play every single possession. Yeah, we just talk about it all the time. I think especially this generation, I think they're not going to find a lot of that on their phones. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like things not going well for people, right? But the reality in life is the things don't go well for you all the time. And so it's how you respond. We constantly talk about, respond, don't react, respond, and so I thought they did a good job of that, when we were taking those haymakers. I don't know. It certainly looked pretty good today for both guys, I think. But there's no telling, there's nobody. And I told them after, we haven't, I haven't coached this many teams where there's this much. The separation's not that big, in my opinion, to anybody. Maybe Darren, because he's kind of done it in the A10, but there's not a lot of separation. We have a lot of good players that are striving to become great players, but probably aren't quite there yet. And yet, the pieces, and that's been the hardest thing for me this year, is it's less about strategy during a game. It's more about who should be in the game.
I think what worked well for us was the fact that they didn't know our game plan. With June being out, that's at least 15 to 17 points a game. That's accounted for. And, today, a lot of players stepped up for us and made big-time plays and big moments. And I think that's just, who we are as a team, whether we're missing a guy or, somebody's going through something, we just got to come and play every day, and I think that's what we did.
Yeah, most definitely. In practice, we talked about it, every day. Leading up to this game, we talked about it and stuff like that. And when we knew June was out, we all just came together as a team. It was we could really make something happen without June. But even though he was there, it was good to get that one.
I think Coach gave us a big message at halftime. Just stay poised. The game is not 20 minutes; it's 40. And obviously they made their run in the second half in a big push, and we just stayed poised. So we got great shots. I missed 2 open threes on the left side, which really could have put us up, I think, 12, and that would have been a major gap for us. My boy. But, like Coach said, stay poised, stay present. The game is 40 minutes, and when the buzzer went off at the end, it rewarded us in our favor. I think that's what we put the extra time in and work for outside of practice. Compliment to my teammates. They trust me with the ball at the end of the shot clock. So for them to have that trust in me and allow me to take those type of shots, it means everything because that's something that I work on outside of practice that, you aren't always able to showcase. So for me to be able to put it on display today, I thank my teammates for putting me in that position. I came ready and I knocked the shots down. I give kudos to coach and the scout team in practice. We try to constantly coach constantly preaches to keep our same identity on defense no matter who's on the floor. And I think our defense carried with us tonight. Even though it was a home game, that's just who we have to be as a team. Defense, defense, defense. Being able to stop the ball, impact, get hands in there, get deflections, get steals, get out and run. And that ultimately leads to our transition play and our offense and things like that. So it starts with just us keeping our identity on the defensive end, impacting the ball, being aggressive. And if we could be the aggressor, then, everything will work out in our favor.
So, yeah. Outrage is trending, our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
We're back here on Raise High at GW, introducing redshirt freshman guard of the men's basketball program. That's Christian Jones. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good.
Good?
Yeah, how are you?
First chance here on television. You excited for this?
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, let's talk about your story here. You're playing, redshirt freshman. You had to sit out a year, but your confidence has really come through in the first couple games. Where does that confidence come from in your game?
That confidence just comes from like the coaches and my teammates just always striving for me to be better every day. Like since the summer, since I first started here, they always just been on me and telling me who I could be and
How about last year? Redshirting is kind of a rare thing in college basketball nowadays. You come into GW, you're excited to play college basketball. You have a guy on the team that you know from high school and Max Edwards. You probably didn't want to redshirt at first, right? To be fair.
Nah, I definitely didn't want a redshirt.
Yeah.
That's why the first game last year against Stonehill, I suited up because I'm thinking redshirting is not gonna be a good fit for me. But then after the game, that whole week leading up to the game, I talked to so many people back home, my mom, my two brothers, Max and June, because he redshirted too. So just having those people in my corner telling me that this would be a good fit for me going into this year right now.
Yeah.
It just stuck with me. And how they were on me, so it just made it an easier decision to do.
And that's how things change, right? You go in, you're wearing your jersey the first game, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I need another year because you have a guy like James Bishop. You may not have been able to play as much as you're currently playing now. So, what was that year like? Because you're probably having conversations with Coach Caputo and the whole coaching staff. Probably put out some new goals for yourself of okay, this is what I need to do to make myself better, so I'm ready to go this season now.
So first, they sat with me me and my mom. They sat with me and my mom. And they were saying what I need to attack last year, and that was my weight, my gaining more weight, putting on more muscle, and getting my shot right, and just the mental part of the game and stuff like that. So I feel I attacked that last year and going into the summer. So yeah, it just worked out well. So I'm definitely glad I redshirted.
And I'll say you're already realizing now that it was probably a good decision, right?
Definitely.
All right, let's talk about you on the court because now GW fans are excited to get you here, and they've been really impressed. Recently at ODU, career high 17 points, everything was going through. Take us through that game and what it was like to sort of be in that zone on the offensive end, and then turn that into a defensive effort.
At first, leading into the game, the coaches had to talk with me and stuff like that, saying just telling me I could do more, the stuff I could do, stuff I could do more on the offensive end and defense end. So I really took that into consideration. Then I tried to apply it into the game, into the game, and it ended up working out for me. So yeah, it was.
And then you score 17.
Yeah,
What's it feel like? Because I will never know this. What's it feel like do you know when you're in the zone and when you're going to have one of those days?
No, you don't. You just. Me, I just try to go out and play as hard as I can every day and stuff like that, and then see what happens, see what the outcome is. Then yeah, that's how I try to play all the time.
That was an offensive outburst, but we've also seen you really impressively on the defensive end. You're picking up the point guard 94 feet. How many, you probably don't know, but how many times you poked the ball away and gotten a breakaway dunk or a breakaway steal? What's that mindset there when you're I'm guarding you 94 feet, let's go?
The mindset is just try to take the ball. When I take it, it feels good when I take it because it gets the crowd going, it gets my teammates going. Just a momentum break it for like the other team, stuff like that. Because getting pickpocketed at but like before you pass half a court, like that would feel crazy for me if somebody did it to me. So I just imagine it for the other teammates, and I just want to do it like every time, pick up 94.
I'm not trying to expose your secrets, but is there something that you're looking for in the ball handler that you know it's a good time to try and pickpocket him before half court, or any time for that matter?
Like as soon as he crosses over, that's when I know like to take the ball and stuff like that. As soon as the cross happens, so I try to like bait him in the crossing, and as soon as he crosses, I just take it. I just take it.
There we go. Yeah. That's a good way to play defense, is just take the ball when they're crossing over. But last thing for you here, you got to witness college basketball from the bench for a year. Now you're playing it. Anything surprised you so far?
Anything surprised me? Probably how like the pace, like how fast it is. Like it's really like no breaks. Like you can't take no breaks, or like that could be like the turning point in the game. So just like playing hard like every possession, and like yeah. But then in the media timeouts too. The media timeouts give me too.
It's a little bit long.
Yeah, a little bit long. But other than that, it's good. I mean, you get like a little break, so that's always good. But yeah.
You'll get used to them, I promise.
Definitely.
Christian, appreciate the time.
Thank you. Appreciate you too.
All right, we'll be back here with more on Raise High at GW.
Gas prices got you fuming? No need to get heated. Save time and money with Metro. Ride, save, explore. Metro.
Welcome back to Raise High at GW. We are lucky to have Associate Vice President and new Athletic Director Michael Lippitz here. Welcome back to DC, where you got married. You played tennis at Maryland. You're having a different journey we're going to talk about later in the show. Why GW and why come home to DC?
Thanks, Jimmy. Great to be here. Appreciate you having me on. The easy part is the YGW. The school is elite, both academically and athletically. You combine that with our location in the nation's capital, and it's the right formula for success. So competitively, I'm a competitive person, and I'm excited about what the future holds in terms of our potential. So, and I'm a builder in terms of programs. And we'll talk, I'm sure, a little bit about that in terms of my background. And it's great to be back in the DMV. And it's been a great, warm welcome from the fan base here.
I've always felt that GW is one of the greatest city schools. And there's all kinds of city schools. You were just in Chicago, okay? We know New York, NYU, Boston University, UCLA's in. GW is in the heart of the actual city, next to the monuments, next to the White House, next to Georgetown. In other words, it's smack in the middle. And it's a global place. Like, this is one of the more unique schools, in my opinion, because of its so many things it has. How did you view that, and how will that play into your plan for the future?
I think it's one of the reasons our students choose to come here. I mean, even up the road at College Park, it's one of the reasons I chose to come to Maryland, is because of the access you get to the capital and all the internship opportunities and job opportunities after graduation. So it's a real calling card for us and a selling point from a recruiting standpoint. And you see it when I've spent a lot of time early visiting with our student athletes and getting to know them. And that's one of the primary reasons that they came to school here. So it's a tremendous selling feature for us.
I love the Smith Center. I think it's the perfect building. It's the right size. Obviously, it's right in the middle of campus. You have built buildings. You have redone buildings. You have built practice facilities. You have done a lot of things at all your stops. Without giving us your secret plan, as you walk around, there's obviously so many great things that are here, but you have to put your touch on them. Have you even thought about any of what you're going to go without, I'm not saying to reveal anything, but you see how great this can be. How does that process work in your mind when you walk around?
Yeah, I mean, Smith Center is a phenomenal building. On game days, it's great. The work that's been done here over a number of years to modernize it. I remember what it was a number of years back, and it looks the part, and it feels good on game day. So it's in a really good place. There's always room for improvement, right? We've got a number of new fan amenities this year that were put into place over the summer prior to my arrival, but that are already starting to pay dividends. We've got grab-and-go concessions, making that part a little bit easier and better for fans. New video boards, so everywhere you look, you can get a replay, you can get hustle stats, things like that when when you're in your seat, and the audio has been significantly upgraded. So I think everybody appreciates those dynamics, but there's always opportunities to improve. But facilities are always a priority, right? It's one of those commitments that you make, and it's for the long term. So
And
excited
today's
to
student
get going.
athlete is
Yeah.
changing a little bit. In other words, we would just do what our coaches told us or go where we were supposed to play. They expect more. Today's student athletes, they know what's out there in terms of whether it's housing, eating better, how they travel, but facilities are an important place. It's visually important, and so you see that. And you've been kind of you stayed a long time at Maryland, a long time in NC State, and a long time in Chicago. Do you see this as a place you can stay for a long time?
Oh, absolutely. For our, not just for me, but for our family, this is a destination for us. It's home. It's a destination, and we look forward to being here and being able to really contribute to GW over the long term. So, yeah, the facilities piece it's always important. It's that physical manifestation of your commitment, right, to a program. And I've been fortunate to do a lot of fun facilities projects over the years. It's one of those things that if you stay in this long enough, you generally have an opportunity to do. And it's fun to have that reveal, all the hard work that leads up to the reveal when the student athletes and the coaches walk in and cut the ribbon. But all those things are only possible through great donor support. And so as we move forward, we look forward to rolling out those plans to our donors, and we'll be asking for their participation to make those things a reality.
The good news is we have you for another segment. So stay tuned because we have more questions and more answers, and this is going to be a great opportunity for everybody to get to know the new athletic director, Michael Lippitz.
Raise high, revolutionaries. This is our calling. For more than 200 years, in the heart of the nation's capital, the George Washington University has produced leaders on the global stage. At GW, we are advancing knowledge, serving society, and making an impact. We shape the future. We make history. So rev up, expand your world, ignite your passion, strive for success. Together, we raise high.
Welcome back to Raise High at GW. We have the Associate Vice President and Athletic Director, Michael Lippitz, with us for a second segment. We could do a 2-hour show. You should hear us off the air talking state of college athletics. We're going to get into that. But I want to talk a little bit about your background.
Yeah.
Division I tennis player,
Yep.
right? You got your law degree from Villanova, who's obviously a basketball power that has football too. You've had an interesting run. Tell us a little bit about your journey, because for those of you who don't know, he was with Debbie Yao, who helped build a new building at Maryland, went to NC State, et cetera. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. It's 25 years. This is my 26th fall in college athletics. Hard to believe for me. It's been great. I've been really fortunate to work with a lot of really talented people. You mentioned Debbie, certainly my mentor, and had a lot of success working with her at Maryland and at NC State. It starts with people in terms of all the success that through the years that they've been able to achieve. Especially the head coaches, right? There are no more important people in our departments than our head coaches. It has the most to do with the student athlete experience and the quality of that experience, and everything from recruiting to being brand ambassadors for your athletics program and your university. It really starts with the coaches, and I've been very fortunate to work with some talented coaches over the years, and it's fun even after you've moved on to another institution to watch their continued success. And so a lot of great basketball programs, been fortunate to be a part of, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited to be here. Is I was at both as a tennis player and then an administrator at College Park at University of Maryland, watching these great teams across town.
You
at
won
GW.
both the men's and women's national title.
But in those years were some of GW's very best teams, and so we know what is possible in terms of playing deep into March, cutting down the nets, winning conference championships, and that's what's got me so excited.
I'm glad you talked about the history of GW, because when I was at Maryland as assistant, we used to have to play them in the BB&T, which I think they should go back and play downtown. It was great time to play. The Mike Jarvis, the Tom Penders, the Carl Hobbs, Mike Lonigan, et cetera. The postseason resume of GW basketball is
it's deep.
Very impressive. I don't want to talk about the women because Joe McEwen, all he did was win, and the MVP of the WNBA finals this year, Miss Jones
JJ.
Played here.
Yep.
Like, this is a basketball community, and all the sports matter, but sometimes basketball can carry you. And I want to get into this because you were on the men's basketball committee. I'm sorry you're not anymore. That doesn't transfer when you switch jobs. Tell us about that. You're in the room, the selection committee, you're moving up on that. What's your theory on that?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of leading with basketball, right? I mean, the A10 is a basketball league, right? We know who we are as a league, and we're going to lean into that as GW. We're going to lead with basketball. I mean, part of this is, again, as an Olympic sport student athlete, right? We care about all of our teams. We're going to invest in all of our teams, but we're going to lead with basketball because success on the hard court translates in terms of success as an overall athletics department. And the other thing it does is there's a halo effect in terms of the entire institution, right? That kind of exposure in March, we've seen it all over the country, all those examples, right, of schools who hit it big in March and what it does for the entire fan base, for the entire alumni base and the institution. It amplifies all the great work, all the great people of the institution, and really helps take everything to the next level. That's the return on investment, right, in terms of when we talk about investing in basketball. And we've seen it here. Again, as we were just saying, we've seen it at GW before, we can do that again. And so that's our focus.
From the court sides, when you watch it to the Tabernacle Club, to the media attention you can get in this area, but it really is a good experience for the fans. And playing a good schedule and playing in the A10, et cetera. The A10 has some wins. Tell us your thoughts on multiple bids. And I ask this because you're on the committee and you've been in different leagues. Tell us your thoughts on the A10. Bernadette, the commissioner's down the street.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the league as much as GW's place?
It's two things. The A10 deserves to be a multi-bid league. And at the same time, today it's as hard as it's ever been to be a multi-bid league, right? The power conferences are gobbling up more and more of those bids. I'm a proponent of expansion, but I know there's a lot of discussion about whether expansion is going to be the 10th place team in a power league versus what I would say is a more deserving, team out of one of the high mid majors like an A10. But I think it's important. March Madness is special. I mean, what makes it special is those upsets. That's what people remember and talk about from years past, right? It's not that blue blood matchup in the second round. It's that upset. Right, it's the David and Goliath aspect to March Madness, and so that's what we all want to see more of, and obviously that would benefit a league like the A10. And we talk about scheduling beyond the A10, and you mentioned the BB&T. Went to many of those over the years. It's important that we play our local rivals, right? I mean, this is unquestionably a pro sports town, but we've got a lot of great college programs here. And so, our guys are playing American this year, right? American will come back to us, right? It's terrific. Our women just played Howard. I mean, we want to play those local regional rivalries. So whether it's a trip up to College Park, whether it's playing our friends over at Georgetown, I mean, we want to play these games, right? I think it helps all of us, win or lose, any particular game. It helps all of us with the visibility and the momentum in the city and just the basketball culture of DC, which is really strong. But part of supporting that is playing each other.
Now, Georgia's Army has been great so far. Just if you want to address the fans or the student body, tell us your thoughts on that.
Yeah. First, I mean, our students are phenomenal. My first game, the doubleheader, the opener, had well over 1,000 students, and you can feel the energy in the building when the student section is full. And so Georgia's Army is great, but also our spirit squads, band and cheer, they're bringing the energy every game. Really appreciate what they do. It's exciting, and we're going to continue to look for opportunities to get our students engaged. All right, we have 22,000 students, 90% of whom are right here on campus. We need them in the Smith Center game after game, and we can do that and really infuse this building with a lot of energy.
You've already brought a lot of energy and a lot of positive vibes. We're really happy you're here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
The Atlantic 10 by the numbers. 15 universities, 23 sports. A 91% graduation rate honoring the academic achievement of more than 4,500 student athletes. One conference united by diversity, powered by commitment. The A10 is building countless champions in athletics and preparing scholars for life. Great people, great places, extraordinary opportunities, too numerous to count. This is the A10.
Make your trip monumental. Sightsee through DC without overspending on gas and ride shares. Experience DC the local way. Ride, save, explore. Metro.